change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet, we could stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between. So baby, we should start living now. 'Cause we only have this life. Wanna laugh and wanna cry. I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now. We are close, can you feel it? Something is behind the clouds. We just have to believe it, that we can make the sun come out. Let us lose ourselves in a fairy tale. Who can say what's wrong or right? We're the only ones who can decide. Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet, we could stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between. So baby, we should start living now. 'Cause we only have this life. Wanna laugh and wanna cry. I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now. I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now.
Girl, you should wear a name tag.
Ni vicious presenting.
Girl, you should wear a name tag. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa.
Let's go.
Summer's gone, I'm latching on. Don't even know your name, but you're still in my head. Underneath rays of gold, your body oh so close. No, I can't forget, no.
Forget what?
When I saw you on the dance floor, oh, I saw you who saw me first. I guess it's history now, and I shouldn't care, but it still hurts. I didn't realize the danger, 'cause you're the end of the rainbow. And the music was so loud, didn't catch your name over this crowd. Girl, you should wear a name tag, 'cause all I wanna do is to know your name. Girl, you should wear a name tag, that's the only way that I get your name. Girl, you should wear a name tag, it's too important to be your name. People go insane when you walk by. Girl, you should wear a name tag. Girl, you should wear a name tag. Girl, you should wear a name tag. Lose control of myself, can't find you anywhere. doesn't make sense, no. So bring it back, cause I need you on the dance floor. 4 a.m. and we go home. I guess it's history now, and I shouldn't care, but it still hurts. I didn't realize the danger, cause you're the end of the rainbow. And the music was so loud, didn't catch your name over this crowd. Girl, you should wear a name tag, cause all I wanna do is to know your name. Girl, you should wear a name tag, that's the only way that I get your name. Girl, you should wear a name tag, it's too important to be your name. People go insane when you walk by. Girl, you should wear a name tag. Girl, you should wear a name tag. Girl, you should wear a name tag. Cause I need you on the dance floor. 4 a.m. and we go home. I guess it's history now, and girl, you should wear a name tag. I didn't realize the danger, cause you're the end of the rainbow. And the music was so loud. Girl, you should wear a name tag.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you. I go all in to lose or win. Build things up to knock 'em down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane. There will come a time for when we can wash away your sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a hurricane. You're so different, kind of ignorant. You don't care what people say, people say, people say. I'm going crazy for you, baby. Don't know how you're making me feel this way. What can I say? That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you. I go all in to lose or win. Build things up to knock 'em down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane. There will come a time for when we can wash away our sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a
On this episode, we're going to be doing taking a look at and doing a tasting and review of a brand new tequila from Cascahuin. It is Cerro De Luz, right here on the Tequila Hombre. Coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of a brand new tequila from Cascahuin. It is the Cerro De Luz. It is not available in the United States yet. It is due to arrive here about March, late March, early April, from what I've been told. So this is kind of a preview of something that, well, then you'll know when it arrives, whether it sounds like something you'd be interested in or not. So let's give you some details about this. It's a little different than the standard Cascahuin production. And just so you know, on the bottle, they give you this really cool tag with this QRC code here, which if you want to scan that with your phone, you can look at the PDF that comes up, download it, and it tells you about the production on it. It's pretty cool. Has the NOM number 1123, which is Cascahuin's NOM number. You can see that right there. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Come on, there you go. So it's really cool. So a little details about the production on this. It is basically made like a mezcal, okay? It is, the agaves that they harvest are cooked in an earthen pit where they basically take wood and they light it on fire and they put it on the bottom of the pit, and then they put lava rocks on top of it, and then it heats the lava rocks up until the lava rocks are kind of a red, red with heat color. And so then they cover those with bagasso and stuff, and then they put the agave on top of it so it doesn't scorch the agave. And then after they pile the agave in on top of the hot rocks, they then will cover the agave with more bagasso, more fiber and pencas and leaves and stuff from the agave. They put it on top, and then they cover it with sand, and then they cook it in this big mound in the ground, and they cook it for 120 hours. For this batch, it went for 120 hours. After it's done, they uncover it and they let it cool, of course, because it's really too hot to handle at that point for any of their crew to take it out. Then once it's done being taken out or cooled down, they then use a taona to crush the agave and to extract the sugars from the fibers. That's more like in our artisanal mezcal where they use taonas. With the ancestral tequila, the Siembra Valles line, they'll actually use mallets and crush it by hand. So they use a taona wheel to crush the agave fibers, extract the sugars. It's then fermented in a wooden vat with the fibers. So they take the fibers out of the taona and they put them in with the mosto in the fermentation tank, and it's a wooden tank, and they ferment it with the fibers, okay? And then after fermentation is complete, they then distill it twice using a copper pot still. In the first distillation, they put the fibers in, which is something that happens with the mezcals a lot. And so they then ferment it first with the fibers, then they do a second fermentation using a copper pot still. And then after it is done, they then put it in glass, and they rested it for 5 months in glass. So it gives us some time to mellow down a little bit and to chill out and calm down and get kind of, relaxed and ready to go for everybody. So that's kind of the production of this. So it's produced pretty much like a mezcal, but more in line with an artisanal than with an ancestral, because there's things that for an ancestral mezcal, they'll use a clay pot for that versus a copper pot still. And then they'll also crush it by hand. But there's some things that are similar to an ancestral mezcal as well, where they put the bagasso in the still for the distillation. And they also ferment with the bagasso, which a lot of times that's what mezcal producers do as well, for artisanal and ancestral both. For the putting it in the still, it's typically done more with ancestral than with artisanal, but you can do it in both, as far as I know. So it's kind of cool that this is actually produced more like a mezcal would be, or more like tequila would be, earlier on, with the exception of, let me see, the copper pot still is probably the only thing that's the exception in there, where if it was more of a clay pot, it would be more of an ancestral tequila. So there you go. So this is going to be kind of like a mezcal. And so what I'm going to do too, just out of curiosity, is I do have the La Luna. This is basically the same thing, but done more ancestral. And I'll do a comparison between the two. and see what I think flavor wise. And then, so it kind of give me an idea on what the flavor differences are between the two. But you know, Cascahuin always makes good stuff. So I'm excited to try this and see what it's all about. And if you're a tequila drinker and are used to normal tequila, this may be a little different for you in the fact that it may have some smoke in there because of the pit cooking. So we'll see. We'll see if it has a lot of smoke or a little smoke or what here when we do the oh wow, that's kind of weird. That was kind of a weird noise that it made, but it's more of a, it's an artificial cork, but it made a weird sound when it was popping open. That was kind of weird, but it's just a regular like a artificial cork. So we'll go ahead and pour some in the cup in my Denver and Liley glass. Take a look at it. And we'll take a look at it in the glass like we always do. I believe you do taste with your eyes, your nose, and your mouth when you're tasting. So I think the eyes are a big important part in tasting a good tequila. So let's look at this. Looking at it in the glass, it coats the glass nicely. You can see it's starting to form legs and tears on there right now. And there it is. So look at that. It looks beautiful. It's going to have a nice viscous, there it goes. It just broke. So it had a nice viscous look to it. Leaves some pearls on the glass as well. Looking at it in the glass, the tequila is crystal clear. There's some bubble floating around in it, but that's okay. But everything else looks totally crystal clear and beautiful. Looks good. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose on this. Has a very clean minerality to it, but I'm definitely picking up a hint of smoke on it. And then there's beautiful agave flavor on it, cooked agave. So this one's got more of a floralness to it with a little salinity in there. So a little like olive brine saltiness coming through on it. But it's more of a floral nose to it, and you do pick up a little bit of that smoke, but it gives it more of like a tart fruitiness coming through on it too. It's more like a grapefruit s kind of nose to it. So it's got a fruit. It's got that salinity. It's got a minerality to it. It smells good. It smells really crisp and really clean. So it smells really good. All right. So let's see what we get on the flavor profile. Do the second tip we'll do. All right, it does have a nice, beautiful cooked agave taste to it. It does have a fruitiness, citrus, definitely citrus fruitiness in there. So like the grapefruit does come through a little bit on it. It's got a little bit of it's got some heat to it. You get that cinnamony, light cinnamony and clove flavor coming through from the agave. It definitely has a minerality to it that comes through. It's anise is like right in the middle, so that bitterness, that black licorice bitterness is in there. Hints of citrus, like tart citrus, like grapefruit coming through on it as well. A little bit of vanilla in there. I'm not getting any smoke on this at all. So, you know, actually there's a little hint of smokiness in there, a little tiny hint. So a little bit of smokiness. It's good. I like it. So how would I rate this? I'd recommend it. I give it 4 agave. It's not something where I'm like, wow, this is totally mind-blowingly good. I mean, it's right in line with what Cascahuin does with the kind of stuff they produce. I actually think the anniversary edition was more towards my preference. This is very light. It's got, good flavor to it. It's got a little bit of heat to it. But it's not bad at all. It's good. I think you guys will like it. I think if you're a Cascahuin fan, you'll enjoy it. I do. So I wanted to try this, because this is the also made with Weber Blue Agave, right? But this is an ancestral tequila, right? So let's kind of talk about the differences between the two of these, because, the Cerro De Luz is made like a mezcal, right? This is made like a mezcal. The only difference in the production on this is that the still that they use is a tree trunk. It's a hollow tree trunk. I posted a picture on my Instagram account and on YouTube for people to see it. And it's clay pot instead of copper pot, but it's cooked in an earthen pit like this one is. And it's hand crushed, and then it's done the same where it's fermented with fibers, and then it's distilled with the fibers as well. So side by side, this has got a lot more on the nose that the ancestral mezcal does, and it just basically blasts you with a bunch more flavors. Bunch more notes on it. This one smells really fruity. It does have pomegranate in it. This one does have pomegranate in it as well. They put pomegranate in the still and distilled it with the pomegranate in there. So you definitely pick up some of that fruitiness that comes through on it as well. And then flavor wise, explosion of flavor in your mouth. You get the Weber Blue, the cinnamon and baking spices. A little bit of tropical fruit coming through, like grapefruit. Just a tiny hint of the pomegranate coming through on it. And then it's got some light fruit that follows, like plum that comes through on it. Like papaya even. It's got a really nice flavor. It's just super. It's more complex, I think, than the Cascahuin is. It's amazing. It's good stuff. So between the two, here's what I'd recommend. If you want to get the Cerro De Luz, grab it. Okay, get it. It is a limited edition run. There's only 600 bottles coming to the U.S. and that's it. They just did a small run of it just as a extra treat type of thing. But if you can't get it, because it may be hard, there's only going to be an allocation for each state. If you can't get it, pick up a bottle of the La Luna, because this thing's a treat. It really is. And we've got a good amount of that, and then that's a limited run as well. Once that's done, it's done. But that's also made with Tequila Weber Blue. But the Cerro De Luz is nice. It's very light. It's crisp. It's got a beautiful flavor profile to it. It's really good. So if it's something that you wanted, it's great. Now, how would I compare it to something? Let's do this. I'm going to pull out, because I know some people were like, oh, I got to get it. I got to get it. I got to get it. I think the price point on it too is going to be, right now, I paid $70 a bottle for it from Mexico, from the distillery. So knowing that, it's probably gonna be somewhere around 120 to 149, $150, like right in there, sir. Retail here in the US. Do I think that that's worth it? I probably wouldn't pay $150 for it. No. Because you can get a bottle of this, which I think is more flavorful and better for $99. A good mezcal. So I would, if it's around $99 retail, then I would say, yeah, grab a bottle of it. And then I would grab a bottle of each and compare them side to side, because I really think the La Luna is gonna blow it out, in your guys' opinion. I'm not saying that this tequila is bad. It's not bad. It's a good tequila. It's very light, but the flavor on it is not as in depth and as complex and as beautiful as what I got from the La Luna. So we will have it on fermented still. The members of the channel get first shot at it. And then we'll charge whatever the regular retail price is on it. We're not going to jack it up or mess with anybody on it. But it's good. So, that being said, let's deal with our members and see if there's any questions or comments from them. Hello, Todd. How are you doing? Welcome. Shaman. Hello. Welcome. Alejandro. Welcome. Silos P. Welcome. Chewy, hello. Bienvenido, welcome. Deputy Sandoval, welcome. Shaman, is this a limited run or a new addition to their line? It's a limited run. It's only 600 bottles in the entire U.S. So, I mean, if you figure that out, it's what, 600 bottles, there's 50 states, right? So that's what, 2 bottles, no, it's not 2. It's 200 bottles a state. Is that right? 1,000? No, there's only 600 bottles. So you divide 6 by half, right? It's 3. So 30 bottles a state. Is that right? 600? No, that's not right. My math is off right now. But it's 600 bottles total in the U.S. So they have to they're going to allocate it per state. And I'm not sure how many each state's going to get. But it's not going to be, it's going to be very limited as to what you're going to get. So, or what's going to be available per state. Hello, Abel. How are you? Hey, Rafa. Cheers. EBA 101, but no, it's very limited. Yeah, it's going to be hard to find it. And, but don't go crazy spending all kinds of money on it. It's not going to be like, oh, this is something you have to try and something you have to pay a lot of money for to go crazy about it. Because I'm honestly, if the prices are jacked up on it, you'd be better off buying a Tequiliana mezcal and drinking that instead, because I think that's got a better flavor profile. This is different because it's more of like, there's a trend that I see going on now that where tequilas are going more back to the way that they used to be produced, and mezcals are more, they're producing them more like mezcals, where you can find, and I'll pull up another one here. We can pull up another one as well and talk about that. Hold on. So you can also get this one from La Luna, which is also, this is a artisanal Tequiliana. So this is made artisanally. And so this is copper pot still. This has more in line with what Cascahuin did as well. But I like the ancestral better. But this one was actually, it's funny because if you look at who's the mezcaleros on this, you see that? He's the master distiller for 1414 for Vivanco and Associates. So he actually went to the distillery and helped make this batch that I have right here. This is one of the earlier batches, Lot 2. So this was this Sergio Cruz was involved in this one. So that's what. So it's, it's still along the lines of tequila, and I can, if you want me, I can try this too, the artisanal. But these are all like, very similar as far as the way they were cooked. They used tequila Weber Blue, agave. So, what flavors does adding the fibers to fermentation add to the ferment? It's not adding flavors. It's just adding more sugars and stuff for the yeast to work, because the yeast will still eat any of the sugars that are in the fibers. So it's not necessarily adding flavors. It's just adding more fermentables to it. That's all. Because like on this one, on the artisanal, they just take the fibers, they crush them up into, you know, individual fibers and stuff. Then they just throw it in a wooden vat and add a little bit of water to it and just let the yeast do their thing on the fibers. They don't even like extract it and try to get the mosto going and stuff. They just crush the fibers and just throw those in to ferment. And that's one thing too, that believe it or not, that when I was talking to Felipe Camarena when I was at El Pendillo last trip, he's been experimenting with just taking the fibers instead of using Felipe Stein or Frankenstein to crush the fibers and extract the sugars. He's just throwing the fibers into a fermentation tank with a little bit of water and letting the yeast do their things on that. And so he's been playing with that. So we may see a tequila from him in the future that they didn't use the Toona to crush, and instead just threw the fibers in a tank and let the yeast do their thing on it, just like the mezcaleros do with their agave fibers. So do a side by side with that La Luna bottle. Okay, with this one with the Tequiliana. All right, I'll do one with the Tequiliana Weber blue. Let me all right, so this is the Cascahuin Cerro, and this is that's the Cerro De Luz there. And this is the artisanal one now. Now just know that, you know, this is lote 2, so different lotes are going to have different flavor profiles to it, because, you know, they don't have you can never make the stuff the same way twice. Even with any tequila batch, it's going to be different. So looking at the Cerro De Luz on a side by side with the La Luna artisanal, the nose on the Cerro De Luz is very light, but you definitely pick up a minerality to it. You definitely pick up the agave, little tart citrus. Yeah, but it's light. It's light. It's not bad at all. It's just light, right? And then on this one, oh my God, it is an explosion of agave right into your nose. It is. Oh, and it's you get a bunch of tropical fruit that come through on it. Definitely the cinnamon, and definitely like cloves and nutmeg in there. But then it gets like a tropical fruit melding of a bunch of different tropical fruits, where it gives you a bubblegum-esque kind of nose to it. It smells really good. It smells so good. All right, so on the flavor, this is a lot more viscous, a lot like more oily. So the flavors really stick to your tongue when you do it. You definitely pick up the cinnamon and baking spices from it. But then you pick up a tart, like a Swedish tart, pineapple. You definitely pick up like some what are those called? I keep flashing back to Mexico, and it's the orange fruit, mango. You definitely pick up like mango on it, a hint of banana, and then it gets a nice sweet vanilla cinnamony kind of flavor on the tongue, on the finish on it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And on the Cerro De Luz, You definitely pick up the cinnamon and baking spices like nutmeg, a hint of cloves, some tart fruit like grapefruit, and then the cinnamon just kind of sits on the tongue on the finish. So comparing the two of these, this is the Cerro De Luz, and this is the the artisanal Tequiliana from La Luna. This one hands down has a bunch more flavors and complexity to it than this one does. This one's the Cerro De Luz is a lot lighter. So if you're somebody that's afraid of mezcal and afraid of the super blast of flavors that you're going to get from mezcal, then go for the Cerro De Luz. It's delicious. It's good. But if you somebody that really wants to explore and be taken to Flavor Town, seriously, step into the world of mezcal, because you're going to be surprised about the kind of flavor that you get from something like this. And you're not straying too far away from tequila, and the fact that this is made with Weber Blue Agave, just like tequila is. It's just made more like tequila used to be back in the 1800s, right? So yeah, they're different production styles. There's some different things that have happened between the two. But, you know, the Cerro De Luz is going to be limited. If you can get it and try it. It's good. You're going to like it. It's very light. There's not a whole lot of anything in there that's going to set somebody off to not like it. It's very light, and it's got a nice flavor to it. It's enjoyable. It's really enjoyable. So I gave it 4 agave, right? But you step into La Luna, either the ancestral or the artisanal, and hello and welcome to Flavor Town, because the flavors blow you away. They're just so much more fuller in flavor and more viscous mouthfeel to it. It's more of an experience. So this is my way of kind of trying to say to you, not saying don't buy the Cerro De Luz, but more lines of saying don't be afraid to step into the world of mezcal. Okay, because not all of it's smoky garbage stuff like what you tried when you picked up a bottle for $20 off the store shelves. This has no smoke to it at all. But the flavors that come through from the Weber Blue Agave on this are just amazing. They're just beautiful. And it gives you a lot more stuff to contemplate and to enjoy on this. So there you go. Alejandro, I did a side-by-side, and for me, the winner was the La Luna artisanal and the ancestral. But, you know, like I said, Salvador's doing some great stuff at Cascahuin. It's a great tequila. It's really good. I gave it 4 agave. It's good. But if I had to say which one would give me more flavor, which one would give me a better experience, I would go more towards the La Luna. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, sipping on La Luna right now, and it's such a wild trip through flavor. There you go. See? Rafa enjoyed it upon opening last week, but has gotten even better after opening a bit. Wow. Yeah, I know. And that's what I try to tell people is this La Luna is amazing. And it's funny because I've had several other tequila people that have tried it, and they've all come back to me and said, oh my God, where's this been all my life? And I'm like, I know, right? It is a wild trip through Flavor Town, and the flavors are so robust and beautiful. I am so blessed that Salvador shared this with us, and I was able to provide it for you. So it is a beautiful tequila. The Cerro De Luz is a good tequila. Okay, I just don't want people to go crazy over it like they did the winter blend, where they're paying, you know, crazy markup prices on it, because it's not that good. Seriously, because you can find other things that are going to be in line and maybe even better flavor profile wise on the mezcal side with the La Luna stuff. So if you don't get it, don't stress over it. Don't lose sleep over it. Don't affect your health over it. You're not really going to miss much. I mean, seriously, you're not going to, it's not like, oh my God, you missed out on a once in a lifetime thing, because you can find a mezcal that's made with Tequiliana from La Luna that we'll fill that gap for you. So, yes, I can see you're all here for the flavor. Exactly. We're all here for the flavor. So I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. You know, I love Cascahuin. We're going to have the Cerro De Luz on Ferment and Still. And of course, the members here will get the first shot at it. Since it's going to be limited, it's going to be allocated. We can't guarantee everybody gets it. But if you want a preview of something that I feel is better, grab the La Luna. You can grab the Tequiliana, the Ancestral, or the Artisanal Tequiliana and try them. And I think that might be a very good entrance into the world of mezcal for you, to show you the possibilities. It's basically tequila the way it was made back in the 1800s. All right. You know, I always pride myself on being honest with you guys. I'm being honest. The Cerro De Luz is great. I mean, I paid $70 for it. It's worth $70. Buying it from the distillery in Mexico, it's worth it. And I'm glad I got a chance to try it. I'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy it with a cigar. It's good. But if I had the three of these to choose from, the Ancestral La Luna special edition that we got, the La Luna Tequiliana and Artisanal. So Artisanal, Ancestral, right? And the Cascahuin Cerro De Luz. If these were all lined up and I was to rate them, here's the way I would rate them. You know, being from number 1 to number 3. Number 1 is the Ancestral La Luna. Number 2 is the Artisanal La Luna. And number 3 would be the Cerro De Luz. So that's being honest with you guys on the flavor wise, on what you can expect from trying. So don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid. I was afraid. I was in your shoes. I was like, I'm not a mezcal person. You know why? Because I tried this mezcal. What was it called? It was called Sicaru. Sicaru. And it tasted like licking a truck tire. I was like, oh my God. If this is mezcal, I am not a mezcal person. It tastes like licking a burnt truck tire. It wasn't good. And then thank God I had a really good mentor on the mezcal side, and he's like, no. Do not judge mezcal on Sicaru, okay? You got to know that there's other ones out there that taste different and better, and you've got to be willing to try stuff for it, right? So I said, yeah, definitely. So I've been trying different mezcals, and I'm like, oh my God, some of these have really good flavors to them. Really good, you know, and I did the Tequiliana from La Luna, which I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. You know, this is a really good one. I did the Ancestral from La Luna, and now, you know, I got so crazy about mezcals. This whole cabinet right here is all different mezcals, okay? So you got a whole other world that you're going to tap into. So instead of clamoring over a tequila that's trying to be a mezcal, you can grab mezcals too. So if you can get the Cerro De Luz, grab it. It's delicious. It's good. But if you can't, don't fret it. And grab a La Luna Tequiliana and Artisanal or Ancestral. I would recommend, since we got until March, right? Why not start now on experimenting with the La Luna Ancestral? Pick up a bottle of the Luna Ancestral and try it. And you let me know what you think. Okay? You let me know whether you agree that it's got some amazing flavors, and we'll go from there. All right. Todd says, I can't wait for La Luna to be delivered. It'll be delivered soon. It's been shipping out. So we have it here. It's already been shipped out to people. Some people have already tried it. I know, like, some people have messaged me and said, I just got my La Luna and I popped it open, and oh my God, it is so good. And I'm good. I'm glad that this is what I really enjoy is exposing you guys to new stuff to try. You're going to go like, okay, wow, all right, this is some of the best stuff I've ever had, and I am just like blown away. That's my goal, is to get you guys to be blown away by my recommendations. Do I think Cerro De Luz is going to be something that's going to blow you away? No. I think I actually prefer, as far as stuff from Cascahuin, I prefer the Plata 48 over the Cerro De Luz, personally. In the Cerro De Luz, what's the percentage on this? It's 49% alcohol by volume, right? So it's right close to the Plata. But I think, I think it's got a lot of good flavor to it. It's a very nice tequila, but I don't know what the retail price is going to be here yet. I know it's $70 in Mexico. It's probably going to be 120 to 149 bucks here. And I would rather pay 99 bucks for the artisanal or ancestral. Actually, it's 99 bucks for the ancestral. The artisanal is like 65 bucks or something. The artisanal is very reasonably priced. It's good. So there you go. Any other questions? How much of the La Luna Ancestral was produced? They produced 54 cases is what our total amount was. So we still have some left. There's plenty of it. So if you want the Ancestral, you can get it, and it's available now. It's not going to be a limited edition where you have to buy it now, or where people that are going to hoard it and then resell it to you for 3 times what it's worth. It's not going to happen with this. There's enough that everybody can get some and try some and enjoy it, which is one thing I'm glad about. But once it's gone, it's gone. They're not making it again. This was made a one-off rainy season batch that they did at a different palenque at the house of the guy that owns it up in Cotima, Mexico, in Michoacan. And it is, once it's sold out, it's sold out. Same with the Vago batch that we have on Fermented Still too. It's an amazing batch from Vago. Bubblegumish flavors that come through from the tropical fruits that come together. It's absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend both of them as entry-level first starts into mezcal, to really be taken to, as what Guy Fieri says, Flavor Town, right? If you really want to be taken to Flavor Town, try this 2 mezcals and then we can talk, right? Because I know you're going to come back to me and go, oh my God, I tried them and I love it. Oh my, it's so good. I don't know why I didn't get into this earlier. And I'm going to be dealing with comments of you guys so happy that you tried it. So that's it. Any other questions? Comment below. Let me know. Members, you guys, thank you for your great questions and comments. The Cerro De Luz is good. You guys are going to get first shot at it. However many bottles that were allocated for Ferment and Still, I'll let you guys know when I get the word. It's going to be March, April-ish before that comes in. But if you want to jump start on it, pick up the La Luna Artisanal or Ancestral. We have the Ancestral. We're exclusive on Ferment and Still. You can find the Artisanal at a bunch of different places. We also have it on Ferment and Still. So if you want to buy them together, you can buy them together on Ferment and Still. But the Artisanal is all over the place too. You can find it. The La Luna, the Tequiliana, all over the place. You can find it. Any place that carries La Luna will have it. We should have it. It's a regular part of their production line. Our Ancestral is not a regular part. It's a special batch that was done, and then they gave us the option on it, and we've been selling it like hotcakes. It's one of our top sellers right now, because people that buy it then come back and buy 3, 4, 5, 6 more bottles after they try it. So it's really good. There you go. All right, you guys. So we're going to be heading off to do our Instagram after party. So if you guys want to come and ask questions that don't have to be pertaining to the Cerro De Luz, you can join me on Instagram. I'll be sitting there with a nice cigar, enjoying some Cerro De Luz. And then you guys can ask questions. We can talk and we have a good time for about an hour or so during the after party. So join me on Instagram for the Tequila Hombre. And until Friday for our next review, remember, life is too short to drink bad tequila or mezcal. So pick up the Cerro De Luz if you can, or any of the La Luna Ancestral or Artisanal tequilianas, and you'll be in good shape. All right, guys, salud. Have a good night. We'll see you all the rest of you guys on Instagram on the after party. Bye.